Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker.
And wait, what? You're not Tom Tucker, you freaking ID thief.
And you're a guy with an identity crisis. Let's move on.
Whatever.
Okay, so my name's, you guys can call me Valley, and this guy over here is Christopher.
I can introduce myself, okay?
Well, you're welcome.
Okay, my name starts with a K, not CH, okay?
You're a rare breed. Woohoo! Okay, anyway, this panel is going to explain how to deal with hate in online and real life, and preferred course of action when you meet a hater. And after that, we'll provide some counter arguments just in case you get into an argument with a hater, and some basic hater psychology. I'll try to make this panel as interesting as possible, but we're amateurs. Please forgive us. Okay, we do not represent the fandom in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. We will not force anybody to follow our suggested methods. We can only recommend that people follow these courses of action. Repeat, we do not represent the fandom in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. We will not force anybody to follow our suggested methods. We can only recommend that people follow these courses of action. Repeat, we do not...
Dude, I didn't get it, okay?
Very well then, roll the garbage! Okay, encountering hate. Okay, would you guys like to do dealing with online hate or real life hate first?
Real life. Alright,
okay, you in the Carl's Jr. bag. No, the guy behind you, the guy in the plaid shirts and the curly hair and glasses. Come up here. And you in a Fluttershy cosplay. Come up here. Okay, since we're both undecisive and can't figure out which section to do first, which panel do you want to do first? What about you? Alright, then we'll do real life.
It is.
Okay? Real-life encounters are far less frequent than online because when you're online, you can hide behind a screen name and whatever. But in real life, the situation has had a chance to reach deadly levels such as this. So please exercise caution when you're dealing with a hater in real life. Because, well, it might end up in a situation like this.
Turn up the volume, dude.
Interesting how they never hit each other.
And they never reload.
Why does it always have to end up like this? Because you don't do it.
Dead.
Yes, that was the Boondocks, and yes, it was for mature audiences. I'm sorry, EKLA staff, but I couldn't find a better clip. Okay, anyway, when you're dealing with hate in real life, it's better to move in the range of a security camera, and give me a sec. Okay, at school, which is the place where Brony hate is most common amongst teenagers, such as me and Chris, The recommended way of dealing with any haters is to move over to where the security camera is and continue to argue if you want. Counter arguments to a hater's arguments will be provided in the next section after we deal with hate online.
And if for some reason, if your school does not have security cameras, then at least move in range of faculty.
Over there, you have two choices: to either to simply walk away, or you can continue to argue until the bully decides to get physical. Since the attack was caught on camera, you have already won. Now you can sue the bully's family for everything they have, down to his tidy whites. Well, you mess with the bully, you get the horns.
Makes sense.
Okay, next, meeting a hater outside of school is rare, yet definitely possible. In the Brony documentary, there was this event where this Brony had some pony stickers on his car, and his tires got slashed, and the stickers were scraped off using some kind of sharp implement. And afterwards, the same hater followed up to his home and threatened him with a gun and a knife. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it definitely can happen.
Now that's just going way overboard.
Obviously. If there are not a lot of people around, it's better to head to a store or somewhere with a security camera and repeat the tactic recommended at school. But if the hater has intent to harm you, then it's no longer a brony problem. I can't emphasize that enough. If the hater draws a weapon or throws a punch, either run or fight. Okay, because if someone pulls a gun at you for being a brony, what are you going to do? Rack up a ridiculous hospital bill in the name of pony? No. No, of course, this type of incident should be very rare, but it's definitely possible. I'm sorry to tell you the grim truth, but I've actually been threatened because I was a brony, so... Wanna move on?
Okay, now...
Oh, that suddenly got depressing.
Alright, now let's move on to online.
A convention.
At conventions that welcome anything such as anime expo, video games, etc., feel free to act like a brony to your heart's content without harassing others, because, well, a convention that is open to all should have at least one brony.
Okay. So in short, if the hater is merely expressing his opinion on not liking pony, simply walk away. If it's verbal harassment, you can either walk away or provide illogical counter-arguments. And as for when it gets physical, well, I don't want to say it again. Bad memories, yada yada yada. Moving on to dealing with hate on real life. Okay, compared to real life, hate is encountered much more frequently in places such as forums, blogs, chat rooms, and online communities. In real life, we already discussed that, so... And when you're dealing with hate on a forum, take screenshots of the harassment, and if you want, report it to the moderators. Because, well, it's not like you have any more power over 4chan or places like that. Hey Chris, does anyone have power over 4chan?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. Who made 4chan again?
I don't remember.
Oh well, anyway, moving back on the topic, next we'll deal with chat rooms. As for chat, oh, sorry, go on.
When you're in the chat room, it's best, if you're going to go in a chat room, it's best to go to an empty one or create your own. If possible, be the moderator so you can kick any haters that decide to be imbeciles. Remember, haters who hide behind the computer screens are, well, trash, because there's really no good way to put it.
Because let's face it, how can you respect someone who constantly calls people fags and that kind of stuff? Sorry about the language, but we've all seen some kind of hate at some point. And the gentleman over there, do you have a question?
I just have a statement related to the go to the chat room to create your own.
Yes.
Well, even though I understand the logic behind it, having control over your discussions, make sure no one comes in and intervenes, causes an unnecessary ruckus. Sometimes you want to just go and chat with other people, and a lot of times, if you're just trying to just talk with other bronies, well, if you have friends that are non-bronies and you want to talk with other people, then you don't really have as much control of the situation. So it's actually better to, to be honest, it's best just to fully understand the ability to report and understand the system in whatever program you're using, whatever site you're using, as well as understand, try to become friends with like moderators and whatnot. Not so much as like you're you're up on their business all the time, but so much that they understand that you can have problems and you're reliable, pretty honest. Don't abuse it just because someone upset you. Maybe they actually just said, I just don't like ponies, and then you go crazy about it. But like you said, they use particular statements, particular arguments to try to make sure the moderators can understand you're an honest, reliable source for reports. That's one way to do it.
You know what? We haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
The gentleman over there, would you like to come up and give us your name?
Sure. You said come up, right?
Yep.
All right.
Because you know what? You're awesome.
Name's Joseph Lee Phillips Jr. I go by Psycho Joe on the internet. So, yeah.
Nice to meet you, Joe.
Thanks so much.
Now, on to online gaming. In gaming rooms such as Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, whatever, they're the same thing, simply turn off the chat or mute the desired player. Of course, like mentioned in the disclaimer, you don't have to follow this guideline. So you can just dominate them, sit on their face until they rage quit. It's up to you. Hey, speaking of online gaming, who here has an account on Steam? Yeah! What games you guys play?
Wait. Hey, warning. Shameless self-promotion abound. Incoming. Go ahead.
Tier 2.
Tier 3.
Okay.
How about 3?
Make better heads yet?
Okay, a lot of those I've heard of and they're very popular. Now, in blogging websites such as Facebook and MySpace, if a hater posts something that qualifies as harassment,
Oh, by the way,
Leave a comment.
I'm sorry. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sorry. Harassment, our definition of harassment isn't someone just expressing their opinion, saying, I don't like pony. It's when someone consistently just spams you with how should I put this? Spams you with hate messages and some of the more unsavory pictures on the internet.
yeah, garbage. Lots of garbage. Okay, as I was saying, if a hater posts something that qualifies as harassment, delete the comment and block them instead of arguing and creating a massive online clusterfuck. Generally speaking, don't fight back. But like I said earlier, we can't tell you what to do. Just leave us out of it. This covers about 90% of the hate you will find online. Anything else requires common courtesy and tolerance.
Oh, and try diplomacy. It's interesting how it's hard to find diplomacy on the internet nowadays. Oh, speaking of hate, I actually took some screenshots of the official My Little Pony hater forum, if anyone's interested in watching them.
Viewers' discretion is advised.
Don't worry, we made sure to censor out all the cuss words, much to your disappointment.
So let me guess, you had to blur out the entire post.
Excuse me?
You had to blur out the entire post?
Close. Oh, just for the love? Okay, everyone ready? Yeah. Okay, hater picture number 1. Here it is. Okay, the first post says, ponies are so stupid and dumb. The next one, by the admin, so true. Next, we have, MLP is the stupidest show in the world. I wish to sacrifice them to Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris is a brony. Your argument is invalid.
Next one, yep, so fudging happy. Yes, we are. Next, this is what I think of MLP. And we have a little demon emoji. How mature. Hey, speaking of, can anyone draw a demon face using a computer? Well, shoot. Anyway, over here, OMG, it's all I ever see on chicken smoothie now. I hate it. What the heck is chicken smoothie?
I mean, really? You see this crap?
It wouldn't be so bad if they at least provided some counter arguments. OMG, I know, right? It's all I see everywhere. And now we have a picture over here of a white collar worker with a pony computer. This guy needs to grow up and get a life.
And so whoever you are that posted that, you're the one that needs to get a life.
No. Okay, and next up. I effing love ponies, deal with it. At least someone's a brony here. Give it up for the brony!
Yeah, stand up to those mongrels, huh?
Yeah, they should all be sent to the moon! Hey,
That's like the worst use of that quote ever.
hey, can anyone in here imitate Luna's voice? How about gender swap Luna? Oh well, that's a shame. Anyway, next one. I effing hate ponies. You deal with it, and it seems that you can't. Ooh, bird. Really? Anyway, over here, ponies are so bleeping stupid. I can't believe people watch this show. Of course you realize this means war, and you seem to be losing. Too bad, but I blocked you out. We win. Ooh! No, get a effing life on eBay.
Really? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, so here we observe. Yes.
I guess.
Sorry, we couldn't hear that.
Well, they do. You mean you go buy the whole live board game? You ever heard that?
Actually, I haven't. Sorry. Yeah.
That's bad.
Because I live under a rock and I don't have TV.
Anyway, these...
Hold on. He wants to say something.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want to say? 3-second dancer?
You don't say.
Oh. And I'd like to point out something interesting here. Read this part. Official MLP Haters Forum. These are the top dogs of the hater forum, and they can't even back up their own arguments.
They're at the top of the hierarchy, yet they stink so much.
Am I the only one here who thinks that... Is there a good way to put it? Whatever, forget I said anything. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, moving back to the PowerPoint, now we'll be providing counter-arguments to dealing with the hater. Wait, what?
I have a way to put up all that.
Shoot.
Okay. All those arguments are so dang weak that even Pipsqueak can break them. That pile of dung smells so bad, a skunk smelled it and passed out. And that huge pile of rubble looks so ugly, a cockatrice looked at it and got turned to stone.
Hey Chris, I just realized something. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I just realized that we are officially haters right now. We're hating the haters, so does that make us haters of the... yeah, gentlemen?
Just going to what you're about to say, I was actually going to say something about that. I noticed one thing that it doesn't help with the haters. A lot of times I'll see whenever I'm going to an anti-brony video or tech video night and the latest ponies, bronies, or any such matter, all of a sudden, sometimes I'll see bronies go on there and then they start up a shitstorm. Excuse my language. That's the best way to explain it. But they start up a mess, and then it just goes on down from there. So even if we got people that don't like, they just don't care about us, people start doing this stuff, like they go to Doctor Who, start slamming a bunch of pony references in there related to Doctor Who's, or say I go and watch a Star Trek episode where Q pops up, everyone starts slamming John Delancey as Discord references. Well, I understand that people love the show. Heck, I won't lie, I've probably popped in a couple of small comments myself. But a lot of times when you start doing that and you're very obnoxious about it, you're very repetitive about it, sometimes you'll stop, take people that are on the neutral ground or just the don't care ground, and you'll make a switch sides, say, okay, I see why people hate bronies, blah, 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 and then you just add another mess to this. You add a little bit some more to the mess. So I'm just saying, one thing is, even if you can counter-troll them, like if they come to our videos, that's one thing, if they come to our websites, that's another, but if you go into their stuff and you initially start approaching them, you're kind of asking for it.
Okay. Gentlemen, get up here. Yeah, come on up. You are a guest of honor. Take a seat, any seat.
Test.
All right, now we have 3 instead of 2. Just for the sake of common courtesy, introduce yourself again, and this time, don't be so brief.
Okay. I'm Joseph Phillips. I go by the internet name PsychoJoe13. I usually do React videos and rages videos. So like somebody sends me something, I'll go look at it, react to it. Someone sends me something to talk about, I'll respond to it or go over the topic. So a lot of times I end up sometimes I'll have trolls come to my channel, and I've actually had 3 troll attempts on a small channel. I've had 3 troll attempts and immediately I turned them around, so it's kind of funny. Huh? So, is that good enough for you?
Good.
Oh my.
Hey, after this goes after this goes on YouTube, I can't imagine how many hater comments are going to be on it.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun. What? Oh, hey, they come into our territory. That's a different game. But anyway, I'm starting to counter the arguments we're trying to make.
It's all right. Hey, we actually wanted someone to speak out against us because it'll make the panel a lot more interesting. Not to mention, we have an awesome person who's presenting another point of view.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, moving on to
the counter arguments. Okay, go for it.
argument number 1. You're too old to be watching kids' cartoons. Counter argument. That's like saying adults are too old to eat chocolate.
Okay, our second argument. This is the most common argument that a hater uses. Ponies are gay, they're homosexual, blah, blah, blah. Well, shut up. Hey, I want the hater to define what's gay. And I want to ask him, hey, who made him the supreme authority on what's gay and why it can't be gay? Oh, wait. Carlos Jr., you want to say something? Wait, get up here, you're mumbling.
Mumble. You want my mic?
Yeah.
Or you want to just come up here and yell at his ear?
Just take the mic. Don't sing.
For like the first argument, with like, it's for little kids, it's just like when you watch a YouTube video, it's like my nostalgic cartoons when I was a little kid, because like, well, it's for little kids, you shouldn't even be liking that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But with like what we do, it doesn't really matter, it's nostalgic to them, so either shut up or just accept it, because that's what they like. Regardless, like I still watch. No.
Hey, stay up here. Hey, there was this quote by C.L. Lewis or someone of that name who said that it's okay for adults to enjoy kids' cartoons because if you think about it, adults are only kids grown up. And I'm talking about you over there, the people over there, and about 10% of the people in this panel right now. Yep. All of you are kids just grown up, so watch cartoons to your heart's content. Hey, why are you getting up here? I told you to make a statement. Come on, Carlos Jr., get out. We'll call you up later now. No, get out.
Oh, come on. Let Derpy stay up here.
Stop, drop, and roll. He's on here.
Sorry, buddy. Pinkamena wins this argument.
Derpy's on fire. Come on, stop, drop, and roll.
I'll tell you what went wrong.
Okay, on to the next
up
one.
here. Sorry.
Oh, wait. You want to move on?
Does anyone have anything to say?
There's nothing wrong with being gay.
It's okay.
Hey, you over there who just said that. I want you to get over here and say that in the microphone right here and right now.
It's okay to be gay.
Who really cares?
What?
Why does anybody care? That's my personal issue. Why does anyone care what other people do?
Because people are jerks, enough said.
I know, I'm just saying. But that's one of the things I always find funny. Whenever they come up to me and say, oh, you're gay for this. I say, even if I am gay, how is it affecting you?
Like this.
It's not like I'm going to pop up in your bedroom tonight.
Here, I'll show you how it affects you. Stand up. Now come on, come over here and give me a big hug.
That there is called bromance.
Ah, goddamn! You said an ugly word. Ooh. we already showed you guys a clip of the Boondocks, so.
I know. Of course, it could be worse.
Alright, okay, shall we move on to the next argument?
Alright.
Why not?
Next argument. Ponies are the cancer of the internet. You're wrong. Ponies are not the cancer of the internet. Dolan Duck is the cancer of the internet. Also, hate, bullying, bigotry, self-righteous people who push their opinions on other people, people who make lists on who suck, extremists, and politicians are also cancers of the internet.
Not everybody may agree, but at least we're not forcing you to obey. Now, I want you guys to brace yourselves, because we shall show you right now the cancers of the internet.
Behold!
Wait,
Yes, did you want to say something?
why do you have to put our empress up there?
Why did I put what?
The empress up there.
Well, because the Empress represents extremist bronies who constantly scream at other haters and neutral people to join the herd. And you over there, did you want to ask a question? No, come here and say it. No, get up here, in the range of the camera. You're on National Brony TV. Don't mess it up.
Another good counter argument would be to the person to define cancer, since most people use that word on the internet without even knowing what cancer really is. Like the definition that's used on the internet, the one that you found on the Encyclopedia Dramatica or on those places. Most people that now are using these words are not even, they don't even know what really is the cancer of the internet. So like you could say to him to define cancer. Stop using it and stop using it, because saying cancer without even knowing what's it on the internet is cancer.
Okay, I'll stay here for a second. Okay, hold your applause, everybody. Okay, first of all, he brings up a really good point. If someone claims that a pony is something derogatory, such as a gay or rage comics, oh yeah, okay, enjoyable cancer, but I get your point. Anyway, ask the hater to explain his statements. For example, if he says ponies are gay, tell him to define gay. If he said that ponies are homosexual, tell him to define what homosexual is. And if he actually provides a decent argument, which is almost impossible, hey, ask him why you should listen to him in the first place. Anything you want to add to that?
Oh no, that's all I wanted to say.
Then hurry up and introduce yourself. What's your name?
Yuri. I came from Italy, and that's my first time here.
No. Okay.
Thank you for your words of wisdom.
Oh, and if anyone wants to say something, just come up here and say it. No hesitation, alright? Oh, you over there. You and the gentleman that you can set up. Okay. What do you want to say?
Well, for one, I want to make a comment on that picture where it says, God hates you and stuff like that. I just want to say I'm a Christian, and that actually affects me deeply, because that kind of gives us a bad name. And I kind of come prepared here, so I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody here, but it says in the Christian Bible, in 1 John, anyone who hates another brother or sister is really a murderer at heart. So just want to throw that out there.
Give it up for the Christian Brony. Come on. Clap harder, come on. Hey, wait, don't go back. You haven't introduced yourself yet.
I can use.
I'm Cody Depew, by the way.
You're what?
My name is Cody Depew. My gamer tag is Depew Pride.
Alright, you're awesome, and hope you like it. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, can I please get rid of these eyesores now?
Yes, please.
Alright.
I've seen worse.
Yes, yeah, sorry about interrupting you. Did you want to say something?
No.
Alright, next argument. Okay, which one of us should do it?
It was your turn.
Okay. Argument number 4. You're a guy, so you shouldn't watch Pony. Am I the only one in here who actually sees girls in the crowd? You in the derby cosplay, you in the braids and the cowboy hat. Let's see. The family all the way over there, and a few people in the crowd that I really don't want to point out because I'm too lazy to point them out.
You were saying?
What? Oh, alright, I didn't finish yet. Okay, if you're a guy, you can't watch Pony. Is that true?
No. Of course not.
Okay, anyone who says that is a stupid bigot, so let's move on. Next argument. Oh wait, hold up. Okay, the male all the way over there, come up here. And you, 3-second dancer, you're after him. You wanted to say something. Oh, he... Right?
Counter question here. Ah! And there it is.
Sorry, give me a few seconds.
Don't you feel like all these responses are just aggression that will only make it even worse?
You do have a really good point there.
I mean, in my experience, whenever I come face to face with the internet, like a Skype, whatever, with these kind of people, I ask myself, is it worth fighting over? No, I don't really care. I walk away. That's it. That's really it. Because it says, I'm not trying to undermine your point. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You're a bigot. Let's move on. That's just aggression. That's not going to accomplish anything. I would say is, that's your opinion, man. And I like the show. I don't care. I'm going to move on. That's it. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for providing another point of view, and you're awesome. What's your name?
Saberspark.
Saberspark? Wait, you're Saberspark? Give it up for Saberspark, the awesome brony. And you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to add something to that. Because like he says, it's actually best to try to avoid these kind of discussions if you can. Now, I know people, they're people. People are going to get into stuff they shouldn't do. I'm very guilty of it. I love to get on the internet, go on YouTube, and if I find a certain argument, like I see someone get trolled real hard, sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to go mess with this. And don't you lie, everyone's done it at least once.
Wait, so you're saying that you actually contributed to the ridiculous non-comment trains on YouTube?
Actually, here's what I do. Whenever I do go and find a haters or something, when they're attacking like a brony, on a brony video or something, here's one thing. Say you can't control your little urge to mess with something you shouldn't mess with. It happens. I know it happens. People are people. What do you do? How am I supposed to stop everything? But if you are going to get involved with this mess, here's one thing. Like how all these comment arguments, like he said, they're very aggressive in nature. Like, you're a bigot. That's like me pretty much going up and flipping somebody off and walking away. But what you could do, which is actually the funnest way to do it to me whenever I decide to be an idiot and get messed into stuff I'm not supposed to, the best way is to try, if you're going to get into it, stay calm throughout the whole discussion. Try to make nice, calm, logical points if you're going to get involved in these discussions. Try not to lose your temper, and every time say, I apologize, I offend you, because they don't understand that at all. So you try to be polite, you try to be nice, and if you just, until either A, they break, or until you get bored. Because I know how people are, you're going to get into it whether you're supposed to or not. It's like telling a kid not to drive his bicycle into that certain place. He's going to go ride his daggone bike over there. Something's going to happen. So.
But then again, you is you. It's your body. We can't control you. We can't tell you what to do.
It's more your mind than your body in this case.
And I think I forgot to add this into the PowerPoint. These arguments are about what I want to say and what I personally want to say to them. So, hey, you guys can use these arguments, just put it into more politically acceptable terms, such as counter argument number 4. You're a bigot. Let's move on. Hey, just what's a good way to put it?
Well, let's say, okay, so you're a guy, so you should watch my little pony. All right, if you I usually go with really long answers. Usually, like on YouTube, I have to put a second.
No, you're one of those guys.
No, I'm very.
Comment train rolls on.
Now, I like to make a nice long paragraph about a very polite way of explaining it. And like, but if you want to be short about it, you can say, okay, and then go away. There's another way you can do it. You can also say, okay, well, I apologize. I'll stop. Well, you can say, well, too bad. I understand why you don't like it, but I like it, leave me alone. There's multiple ways you can go about it. But if you go up and say you're a bigot, you're just asking for trouble. If you go up there and say, okay, I understand your point of view, and go away, or I understand your point of view, you make it a point and say, I understand your point of view, but sorry, I like what I like. You can pretty much go with that. You just.
Sorry, say this question. Sorry about that. Go on.
But like, all you gotta do is, if you can make it where you act like you or sound like you understand their point of view, which usually I do because I understand. Because heck, I'm from Georgia.
Hey!
And we all, and everyone knows how. I hate to say this, but we Southerners can be a little closed-minded. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So imagine how it was for me when I said, "Let me go watch My Little Pony," and then Daddy found out in the most embarrassing way possible. I did a little voice done, and he walked in and one of your singers is kind of odd. But anyway.
Hey, can you do it right now?
What, sing?
Yeah. Hurry, do it.
Have you heard of a Tumblr called Grim Dark Big Mac?
I haven't, but it sounds interesting, so proceed.
It's not dark, it's pretty much Big Mac pretending he's grim dark or trying to be.
Well, what's stopping you? Hurry up.
Alright, in this one scene, Fluttershy asks a question, and she's acting like she's in that time of the year. So it's pretty much, she goes,
Hey, big guy, how do you want to play?
so, yeah, imagine your dad walking in, he thinks you're like a respectable young man, how he's made us think of it, and he comes in and hears you pretty much hitting on another boy. With the girliest voice you can manage. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how my parents found out.
Are they bothered by it?
No, they just roll their eyes whenever I mention it.
Awesome parents.
Yes. Well, then again, my dad was the kind of guy that's, if I put my finger in the left side, got shocked, he would ask, did it hurt? I didn't feel it. So he really just doesn't care. He said, as long as I don't walk in a straight pink suit and act flamboyant as heck, he doesn't care. So I can give him that.
Wait, is it okay if I make a little comment right here? Okay, he does care, but not in the way you think. It's Schadenfreude. Anyone know that song?
Yes, Avenue Q.
Can you sing it?
I cannot.
Take it.
I don't know. Anyway.
Anyway, look up Avenue Q and the song Schadenfreude, which is German for pleasure at the expense of others. Yup, that's German, alright? Sorry, German bronies. Yeah.
Apologize if we offend you anyway.
Yeah, that's about the best way to make any argument. Is this thing working? Yeah, you're working.
Yeah, you can use this one if you want.
Is this thing working?
Yeah.
Yours.
I'm just a random intervener.
Next one. LOL. Ponies are gay and you're a FAG. Hui.
That's the part.
Counter argument. And you're a 3-year-old who can't even spell correctly.
You forgot the term illiterate. Wait, is that the right word?
Yeah, wait. Illiterate means you can't read.
Shoot.
Well,
I apologize for the vocabulary here, and did you want to say something? Wait, if you're gonna say something, come up here and say it. That's the rule of this panel. If you want something, if you want to say something, come up here and say it to everyone's face.
For the argument for, you could you don't even need to do a wall of text. You could just say that saying that a guy shouldn't watch ponies is like saying a girl shouldn't play video games or play football, but that's what they do. So it's your point isn't strong. Like Saber said for the argument 4, the counter argument 5 is I don't think it's a good counter argument because it only says you're an illiterate 3 years old. You could say the same counter argument of gay or and making notice the fact that he's not very good at writing, but without saying that you're an illiterate 3 years old and that kind of thing. It's so you wouldn't get in trouble, and if it's a trouble if it's a troll, like mostly those guys that write very bad, they are just trolls. You could just say, okay, and like, he wouldn't have anything to say to you after that.
Okay, once again, give it up. And I just want to get the counter-arguments part over with because it seems like everything I say is being torn to shreds by the audience.
Actually, the next one is it.
Hey, come on. We finished a PowerPoint presentation in one day. How good do you expect it to be? We'll give you more backstory on how this panel actually came to fruition later. And next one, do you want to do it?
I already went, so it's your turn.
Oh well. Anyway, argument number 6 is used by some of the more let's see. Some of the better haters, the ones that actually provide arguments. Okay, argument number 6 that adults watching a little kids show conflicts with society's morals. It doesn't. It conflicts with the hater's own personal morals. And remember, the hater is not the boss of you. You're the boss of you, no matter what. End of story.
Steve, I can put something to that. There's actually another thing you can say about this. Because that's actually a very generic, very bland. Because most arguments, most of them, they're smart enough to try to make sure that they target a particular topic. This is actually very open. Because, I mean, like I said, because, hey, everyone, that's a bad mic. Anyway, I mean, how many people have seen like cartoons like Dexter? Okay, they're just being mean today. How many people have seen cartoons like Dexter's Lab, all, you know, the good 90s cartoons, Looney Tunes, all that stuff, and you still watch them today if you can catch them, right? Yes, you still watch them today. And they're very good, and if you really pay attention to them, especially after you grew up, you saw a lot of jokes that weren't supposed to be there. So you can easily say, okay, so why can't I, so watching Ren and Stimpy, that makes me a little kid, that makes me messed up, right? You start bringing up the good cartoons, then that argument will die with you immediately. Because that argument is so open that it really, you can easily destroy it in 5 seconds. I mean, because I know there's people here who watch, what, Adventure Time, is that what it's called? It's not really my kind of cartoon, but whatever. People like what they like. But, see, that's just such an open question. And they know people, I mean, people still watch their own kid cartoons. You can go and find, like, your grandma when they first made Mickey Mouse, and you bring up the old Mickey Mouse cartoon, she's going to go, but I'm just saying. That's just an easy one to tear to shreds. And also with how the argument returns with the society's morals. I can understand that argument, to be honest, because in a way, society, like, you know how I was saying how the South can be kind of closed-minded? Once you get society together, once everyone's got like a certain way of doing things, because heck, all you gotta do is look at the past, the 20s, almost everybody was dressed the same, almost everybody did the same thing, almost, I mean, it was very generic. Once society has a certain pattern, that's kind of how everything works. And society morals will sometimes integrate into your own personal morals. So that's just how it is. I can understand their argument. So what you really want to say is, my morals are different from society's. That's all you have to say. It doesn't matter if I'm conflicting society's morals. My morals are my morals. It's, and I hate to use this argument, but it'd be like me going up to, say, I'm agnostic, okay? And say I walk up to a Christian, like a hardcore Christian, you know, kind of that kind of get annoying sometimes, no offense. You know they exist, but say you got that kind of argument. I go up there and say, your morals don't agree with my morals. I don't like your religion. I don't like your beliefs. It does not agree with what I was raised with. How well is this argument going to last? How well is it going to work out? No.
About 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be about 20 seconds. You might hit me with a book. But that's pretty much what I'm saying. That is just, that argument and con argument, they're just done in such a way. It's kind of, both sides really don't have any strength, in my opinion. Because all you can really say is, these are my beliefs, these are my morals, this is what I like to do. Sorry. I'm sorry to offend you. That's all you can really say in this discussion. Too bad.
Your words, sir, belong in the Bible of bronyism.
Hey, you know, hey, I'm glad I called you up here as a guest of honor spontaneously because you are completely kicking my ass in this argument and I appreciate it 100%.
Sorry about that, no problem.
Hey, do me a favor, alright? The next argument, I want you to completely tear it to shreds and replace it with a better counter argument.
You want the Pepsi so I can see it a little bit better?
Oh, sure. You want some?
Here, and I can't scream.
And Coca Pepsi.
That's how the Pepsi's in the way. I can see better from here.
Right here.
Okay, so we're looking at argument number 7. Gosh darn it, ponies are stupid and gay and that's fine. Counter argument number 7.
You're homophobic, imbecile. With a lower IQ, you already lost. Have a nice day.
Okay. Both of them suck.
Now tear it to shreds, man. Go for it.
First off, he used to swear like from the get-go. These are the funniest ones to me because if you're going to try to like convince people to do something, I would recommend, unless you've been in an argument for like a good 5 minutes, then you can start dropping the bombs. But like right out of the gate, he's already slipping out curse words and like he's doing the curse words are cool kind of thing. I ain't gonna lie, I curse a lot. I'm trying to be careful when I'm up here. If I do accidentally slip, I'm going to apologize almost immediately.
Lots of us curse a lot.
I know, but it ain't like I do it because it's cool. It's because that's just how I am. That's how I like to talk. And to be honest, I find it funny because I think they did a report and they said people that curse are more honest. But anyway, though, how honest that is, that's another question. But back to this argument. So first off, he starts off with God dang it, straight from the get-go. That's not good at all. That's not even a good basis for an argument. If you start off with the curse words, this is more. You want to start doing that maybe like 5, 6 comments in. If you are in an argument like that, that's when I want to act. That's when I'd expect to see it, not straight out defense. Hey, just straight up, fuck you. No, that's just not proper. That's not the right way to start an argument. And ponies are stupid and gay, and that's fine. Okay, first off, this guy probably hasn't watched the show. He doesn't understand that these characters are actually very complex. Heck, they even, without
thinking.
Yeah, he's boasting without thinking. Probably hasn't seen the show. And even if he hasn't really paid attention to the intricacies of the show. That's usually what gets my attention is a plot design, character design, whatnot. That's what can keep me attached to the show. They do it just right. The show does it just so. Like for example, Twilight, she's supposed to be like a bookworm genius. Then you have they have a diversity of characters. I mean, did I mention the Nightmare that is G3? They were very paper, there's
cardboard cutouts?
Yeah, there's cardboard cutouts. They were pretty much the same thing, just different colors, different names.
They just probably haven't caught up with G4 yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They haven't caught up with G4 yet. So they're probably looking at this, and I ain't gonna lie, I've seen a few of the older ones. If they're going off that, I can't really argue that much. But if they're going off G3, the current one, G4, then their argument's a little weak. Because first off, like we said, we got a diversity of characters. They have to get over each other's different patterns. Like Rarity's obsession with cleanliness and her beauty obsession, and Applejack saying, you know what, I'm gonna walk in the house with mud all over my feet. I know y'all know that episode. That's probably one of the funniest ones to me. And then, so first off, it's a complicated show. And then they actually slipped in a bunch of mental disorders that I didn't catch until everyone knows which one. I'm wearing the shirt. And when I saw that one, it made it a lot more obvious. Okay, bipolar disorder. This is interesting. So first off, he probably hasn't seen the show. He probably hasn't noticed all the intricacies the show can have. So, man, that's pathetic. I don't even like that discussion. I would ignore it immediately just because how stupid it is. Unless it's just one of those nights where I've been up maybe 24 hours and I just, you have one of those days. All right, now with the counter argument. And you're a homophobic imbecile of a lower IQ, you've already lost. Have a nice day. Now, while I admit that, like I said, argument number 7, yes, he may have already lost, but he didn't have any foundation until he responded the way you did. If you use this kind of argument, you're pretty much going to be just as bad as argument number 7. Why? Because if you do, you said you're a homophobic imbecile. That's pretty much the equivalent of the hater coming up to you and saying you're gay. Now, I won't lie, some people are homophobic. Some people just can't help it. That's just how they are. It's like going up to an autistic guy and picking on him because he's autistic. It's not funny. It's not cool at all. Some people, they just can't be comfortable with other things. It's not in their nature. It's just how they are programmed. You can't pick on them. Yes?
Hey, I got a question.
Come up here and say it.
Yes, please come up here. I got
Share your words of wisdom.
Please start looking around.
Introduce yourself, then present what you want to say. No, say it in the mic.
My name's McLovin. All right. Okay, so far I've just seen all the arguments I've seen so far well, I came here around 3 or 4, argument 3 or 4. Well, anyway, the ones I've seen just seem to be plain ignorant statements. Yeah, as you agree. I just want to what about the things that trolls use? Well, I wouldn't say trolls, but the people on the other side use. You're familiar with the term spaghetti moments, right? Okay.
Just for the audience,
spaghetti moments, awkward moments would just make people think, why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? And I found a bunch of videos, this whole videos on YouTube dedicated to like exposing that side. Like how would you go about defending that? Like people who during a meetup they're in like a mall and then they just start singing. Like obviously that would be kind of awkward. It's unnecessary. Yeah. Like how would you go about like defending that? I mean, like I guess it would be the minority for the brony culture, but like how would you go about defending that? I mean, like I bet I'm definitely sure people would use that as like
the ones that the cancel part, the ones that that say if you don't like this then you're stupid, or like the ones that are very awkward in real life, that they talk always about ponies, and that they are very antisocial, like all in the internet they say they drop spaghetti from their pocket. In my opinion, it's really hard to defend them, and the only really effective thing you could do is to ignore say that they are only a minority. Like they are the argument that I always use. There are stupid person in every group.
Yeah, in every fandom.
In every fandom, in every category.
Weird. I guess what would be considered the weirder part of it.
Yeah, like there is always there are intelligent Christians and stupid Christians. There are intelligent atheists and stupid atheists.
Well, like my dad told me, there's stupid people everywhere.
Yeah, and that there are intelligent fans of Sonic and stupid fans of Sonic. So it's the same with bronies. So it's like they are only pointing out a minority, or even if it's not a minority, it's a 50-50 part.
And also, can I say another thing?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm probably going to get the response, but also there's this image that's been surfacing around from DA and 4chan, spreading around DA and 4chan, about this guy who wants to marry his fleshy Twilight Sparkle.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Those kind of
people say the same thing, just like it's the minority.
I like to say I think that guy on they post about him and
because he's posted so many images and responses.
Oh god.
So most people think it's beyond a troll. This guy's serious.
I'd say that I would say actually the same argument, because there are a lot of people from other fandoms and principles. They're some years ago there was a guy, a fan of, I don't remember what fandom, that has done some crazy things about...
Are we taking too long?
Yeah, we only have a few minutes left.
Sorry.
Sorry. It don't last till 12:15.
But it's the same thing, because there are other people from other groups that have done really weird things. We're not the first. And if they say, but no brony do something good, I like to point out that bronies invented a new
counterculture.
No, a new the C++. How is the name of those kind of things?
Software.
No, not software. They invented a new programming thing, like the F-Theme++. If you go on Wikipedia, some fun invent about them, like me.
Guys?
Yes,
sorry, but
they're collaborating on that.
Yeah, you guys are awesome in all these arguments, but yeah, some other people want to say it too, so hey, all of you guys get up here right now. On the stage, hurry up. Alright guys, every one of you, take a microphone. Hey, say what you want to say, the stage is yours.
Escape.
Well, I personally did not expect to come up here, but I think I must say lifted a book up as a reaction to a lot of what I've heard too, because I know there was a talk I'm not going to specify, but I know there's certain groups people assume, I think I've heard the term Christians and stupid Christian. I mean, you can tell I'm big time Brony, but if you take a look, this is actually my Bible, and it actually has Pinkie Pie and I know too, also not only that, but I know as a believer myself, I've actually been met with adversity as well. So people have actually like said, oh, like you believe in this, you know, why? You know, like they think I'm unintelligent, they think I'm this, you know. I think when someone really mentions something, they just assume things. So
they jump to conclusions.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think as bronies too, like I think like when they see like for example a rainbow wig, which I kind of really regret not getting to really complete this costume, like they just automatically assume things, you know. I think in reality, I think it's just people, I think it just depends on the certain kind of people and all. I think as time goes on, you kind of realize it's really more of a lack of maturity. It's more of a lack of, you know, understanding. So, I mean, that's just my bit.
Quite quick. The majority of these, as a multitude of you have said, the majority of these are based off of ignorance, and some of them are ignorance of the show, and some of them are extreme ignorance just by itself. Now, of course, people could say, you know, you haven't watched it, so you wouldn't know, but then there's, of course, closed-minded people. I'm basically just summarizing the entire panel right here, but, you know, every group has to go through this. Like, if you, like, not coming at this from a religious standpoint, but from a historical standpoint, the Jews had to go through quite an amount of troubles, like, just the Exodus and such. But, you know, seriously, just deal with it. It comes with everything. So, you know, haters, just everything, you know, you have to experience it, so it's gonna be there.
It's like we forgot why we watched this show, right?
Yeah.
If anyone's gonna get angry, there's like no point that you should. I watched the show, and the whole thing is about tolerance, right? The whole thing about tolerance is understanding. Now, forget what other people say, because if you don't understand why they would say that, then that's it. Then you shouldn't get angry. And, okay, clap. Brony for life.
Okay, you three, and the other two that stepped down, thanks so much for presenting your point of views. And you're the last one. Do you have anything to say?
Just go for it. Don't hold back.
I say, let people like what they like. Don't try to intervene with what they like. Allow them, say, to like a certain fandom. Don't try to ruin what they like. It's just, let a person live. Don't try to be like the person who owns their house. Like, they're renting. Yeah, just don't be a hypocrite.
Can't really change.
Just don't change people. This is, I mean, all these countries around the world, there's bronies everywhere. Especially in America, where there's most of the hate.
It's like forced brainwashing, isn't it?
Yeah, and well, even in this country, we have the freedom of speech. We have the freedom of what we want to do.
Yeah, it's a free country after all.
And especially, this is where most of the hate is. I don't understand. Leave us alone, or just let us be ourselves. Don't intervene.
Leave the other people alone.
Yeah. Don't assault us verbally, mentally, physically. Leave us alone. If you really hate us that much, put us in a corner of your mind where we won't affect you. Leave us alone.
In other words, it's your problem.
Let bronies be bronies.
Alright, I guess that wraps up dealing with Intolerance the Brony way, right?
One last thing to note. I intentionally made those arguments stupid as hell just so people from the audience can come up and present their points of views. And guess what? It turned out awesome. Everybody, thanks so much for coming to this panel. Newcomers, I'm sorry you missed it, but everybody, thanks for coming and enjoy the rest of the convention.